Welcome to Flow. Let's get started. Today we'll start off in a kneeling position. Maybe allow your eyes to close and take a few moments for breath. Feel your ribs expand as you inhale. And with every exhale, allow your spine to become a little bit taller. Notice if you're holding on to any tension in your jaw or in your throat. And allow your breaths to become a little bit bigger. You can blink your eyes open, interlace your fingers at heart center, push your palms forward, round through your upper back as you pull your chin to your chest, and then bring your arms up overhead. An option to lift your gaze up to the ceiling. Open up through your arms and we repeat. Interlace your fingers at the chest, push the palms forward, round through your upper spine, and then bring your arms up. Nice and slow, allow your gaze to open as you open through the arms. And we'll take this again, hands to heart center, push the palms forward, nice and contracted through the upper body. Bring yourself to an upright position and burst open through your heart space. And again, feeling nice and fluid through the upper spine, push the palms forward, reach the arms up overhead, and open through your chest. And one more time, just like that, push the palms forward, round through the upper spine. Lift up, maybe find a little bit of a lift through the chest as you open through your heart. And then come to a tabletop position, all fours tabletop, shoulders over wrists. Let's right away move into a cat-cow. Drop your belly, lift your gaze, arch your spine, and then exhale, round through your spine, dome your upper back. And we'll take that again, cow spine, drop your belly, lift your gaze, and exhale for your cat spine. Nice and slow, very intentional movement here. Take a few more moments to move through this. Feel free to pepper in any additional movements. And the movement doesn't have to exactly go with your breath, but make sure that you are breathing, not holding your breath. And we'll take one or two more sets here. Maybe feeling a little more supple through the spine. And then bring yourself back to a neutral position and come all the way down onto your belly. From your belly with your forehead on the mat, goalpost your arms out to the side so your palms are pointing down. And now lift only your arms up off the ground. Keep your forehead and the tops of your feet down. Now extend your arms forward and then pull your elbows back to goalpost and with control lower your arms. We do this again. Lift your arms, goalpost. Extend your arms. Back to goalpost, pull the elbows back, and then lower your arms with control. We'll take this just a few more times, and just notice this activation that's happening in your upper back body. Try to keep your forehead weighted into the mat, tops of the feet also weighted into the mat. Really nice and active through the upper back. So even though we're lying down here, it's these posture muscles, that space between your shoulder blades, the rhomboids, that we're getting into here, finding some mobility, but also some strength work, body weight strength work. When you reach your fingertips forward, think of getting your body as long as possible so you can pull your fingertips away from your toes, like you're getting your waist long like taffy. We'll take a few more here, maybe starting to feel a nice little sensation into that shoulder blades area, the upper back area. We'll take about 2 or 3 more. And even though we're laying on the belly, the core is still active. You can use your core to support this exercise. Last one, lower your hands, bring your hands under your shoulders, push your hips back to your child's pose position. And take a few breaths in child's pose. You can find stillness or you can find some easy movement of your hips from side to side. Breathe into the space between your shoulder blades and allow your head to just release onto the mat. And now slowly roll yourself up to downward facing dog. We're gonna get a little bit more back and shoulder activation. So in this downward facing dog, I want you to push so much into your hands that your earlobes separate from your shoulders. And then with control, lower your shoulders so they come up to your ears. And we'll take this about 5 times. So it's a pretty minimal movement. But ideally, I'd like you to feel this kind of sensation of sliding through the shoulder blades and pushing so much into the hands that you can create that space between your earlobe and your shoulder. It takes a bit of strength here. And also just being in the downward facing dog, we're experiencing some nice stretch and length into the hamstrings and the calves. And then our last one, walk your feet forward, forward fold, ragdoll. So separate your feet, bend through your knees, and then grab elbow to elbow. This just adds a bit of additional weight into the spine. Make sure that you've got some softness through your knees. You can take a very gentle swing from side to side. And then keep the soft bend of your knees and slowly roll yourself up to stand. Think of stacking through the vertebrae. Your gaze will be last to arrive. Bring your hands to heart center, interlace your fingers, push your palms forward, chin to chest, similar to what we did when we were kneeling. Stand all the way up, and then open through your arms, maybe lift your chest, bend your elbows, and we repeat. Palms to heart, push the palms forward, reach your arms up overhead, maybe allowing the shoulders to lift up a little bit when you lift your arms, and then bloom open through your arms, open through the chest. So similar or pretty much the exact same motion that you were taking when you were kneeling. Now we're getting a bit more range of motion that we're standing up, and because our shoulders are maybe feeling a little more supple, we can find a little more range of motion. Allow yourself to open up through the chest. And last time here, bring yourself back to a neutral standing position. And then bend through your knees and send your hips back into a squat. Actively push your hands into the tops of your thighs. We're going to find a bit of spinal movement here. So by pushing your hands into the tops of your thighs, find an arch through your spine. Think of finding length and then lift the heart. And then do the opposite. Bring your hands underneath your thighs, round through your spine. And we'll take that again. Hands to thighs, arch, lift through the gaze. And then exhale, hands under thighs, round through your upper back. We'll take a few more of these. And with using your hands underneath your thighs, you can really access a little more opening into the space between your shoulder blades. And you can also use the pressure of your hands against your thighs as you find that arch through your spine. And then come back to your squatting position and open your arms wide out to this side. Take a little lift of your gaze. And then on your exhale, give yourself a big hug. Bring your right arm underneath. And we switch. Open through the arms. And then find a hug. Left arm underneath. We're going to find this a few more times. So we're still finding that sensation, that action of a cat and cow. Getting nice and strong, but also at the same time, nice and supple through the upper spine. Just finding some movement there, which can always feel just a little bit tight. So allow as much movement as possible. Stretch and reach through your fingertips. Last one, stand all the way up. And then exhale, forward fold, bring your body down. Soften through your knees. You can shake around a little bit through your head. And then slowly make your way down to a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Arch through your spine, lift your gaze. And then exhale for your cat spine, push into the ground, dome through your upper back. And we'll take a few more of these. Now we're in our second round of cat and cow. So you may notice shifts in energy or shifts in range of motion if you're able to access spinal movement a little bit better now that we've been moving for a little bit. Take a few more of these. Feel free to pepper in any additional movements that might feel good in your body today. Find one more set here. And then bring yourself back to a neutral spinal position and crawl yourself back out to lie on your belly. When you're on your belly, bring your hands a little bit wider outside of your mat, tent up onto your fingertips, push down into the pads of your fingers and lift yourself up into a cobra. And then lower yourself down. So think of your front spine rolling down as you lower your forehead. We'll do that again. Push into your finger pads, roll your body up, lift the chin, lift the gaze, and then exhale to roll your front spine down. We'll do this a few more times, elbows pointing straight up towards the ceiling. I call this an undulating cobra. So you find this nice wave-like movement. And notice any tension you may be holding on to in the neck. Allow the neck to be part of the unfurling through your spine. And we'll take one or two more here. Think of yourself as liquid and fluid as possible. And you can find a little more freedom here and move from one side to the other side. But lots of repetitions with this one. Just getting nice and fluid through the spine. And then after your last one, bring yourself back down onto your belly and then make your way onto your back. You can just flip on over like a pancake. Pull both of your knees into your chest. Grab for your fingers, your wrists, or your forearms. Hug your knees in. You could stay right here or option for an inversion. So the inversion I'm demonstrating right now is called a plow pose. You'll bring your ankles so they come up and over your head. Now, if this is feeling a little scary for you, you can bring your hands so they support your lower back. You can also extend your legs so they come straight up to the ceiling with your hips lifted, or you can keep your hips lowered and just extend your legs up. We just want to get a little restorative inversion here. So your heart is above your head. And if you're in this plow pose, you can really experience a nice opening all along the spine, kind of like a weighted forward fold. Take a few more big breaths here, and then slowly make your way out of this. Nice and control as you roll down. Take any little movements that you need to take, and bring yourself into a final resting pose. Bring your legs so they come long and heavy in front of you. Bring your arms to your side, or you could bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Allow your eyes to close or find a soft gaze. And we take these final moments just to come back into that breath that you established at the beginning of the session. Thank you for joining us today. And that's your flow.